because it wasn't fair to limit him to the hours of 11 a.m. till 1 p.m., you can now enjoy Walt Bonetti whenever you want. The Walt Bonetti Podcast is on now.
Welcome to episode 33 of the Walt Bonetti Podcast for February 20th. The Walt Bonetti Podcast is brought to you by the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in or call them, 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver. On today's podcast, what would you do if you got a $121,000 water bill? Louisiana Republicans don't like their choices for governor. Another idiotic ruling from the Louisiana Ethics Board. And a man tries to rob a store with a rock. No, not the rock. A rock. But first, these quick hits. It must be hard work being employed at the New Orleans and Sewage and Water Board. Last year, 2 employees fell asleep on the job while power failed, causing a boil water advisory. Those 2 are no longer Sewage and Water Board employees. Last month, 2 additional Sewage and Water Board employees, a plant worker and a pumping plant operator, were reprimanded for also falling asleep on the job. Well, hey, Cedric Grant was asleep for years at the Sewage and Water Board. So these guys, they're just following his lead, right? WWL-TV reported last night that a Gentilly woman got a $121,000 bill from the Sewage and Water Board. Doesn't anyone check the bills before they go out? Shouldn't a computer flag bills that are so far from the norm? I mean, computers don't fall asleep on the job, right? Who does quality control at the Sewage and Water Board? They spent millions of dollars on a software system that sends out bills like this. Are you kidding? Get it right. You know, if your bill goes from $100 a month to $121,000 a month, you know there's something wrong. Fix it! The boil water advisory for the West Bank of Jefferson Parish is over. I wonder how many folks bathed or showered in that contaminated water. Ugh. And then they went to work. Rumors continue to fly within the Louisiana Republican Party about recruiting another gubernatorial candidate after the release of disappointing campaign finance reports from the 2 announced candidates, Congressman Ralph Abraham and businessman Eddie Rispone. Abraham raised $357,000 during 3 weeks in December, and Rispone raised $550,000 in almost 3 months after announcing in October. Both have little name recognition in the bulk of Louisiana. Many high-profile Republican donors have already pledged their support and their cash to Democratic incumbent John Bel Edwards. While Edwards is a Democrat, he is considered by many to be pro-business and moderate, thus more palatable to Republicans. Personally, I like some of the things that Governor Edwards has done, and I dislike some others. But there's a huge difference between governing and legislating and being a businessman. And I don't think Governor Edwards has done that bad of a job. Yes, like I said, I disagree with the governor on fiscal matters. No, I don't think we should have gone to the fiscal cliff. No, I don't think he should have exaggerated the fact that we were going over. And no, I definitely disagree with pushing back the 0.45 cent sales tax instead of letting the entire 1 cent expire. But I agree with what he's done with ITEP, the Industrial Tax Exemption Program, and letting that go back into local hands. That's something that has been needed in this state for decades, and something that multiple Republican governors and Republican legislatures didn't have the guts to do. We'll see how the rest of the year plays out. And obviously, if the Republicans can muster another candidate and raise enough money this quickly to be able to contend with Governor Edwards and his war chest, over $8 million already. And that's going to grow. And now this. I know life is crazy. Your job is crazy. You have demands at work. You have demands with your family. Your kids are running around. You have to run errands. Sometimes you just get too busy to cook or too busy to even grocery shop. Well, leave the cooking to the original Italian Pie of Kenner. 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in or call them 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver it to your home. You don't have to leave your house. Just order over the phone or order online at orderitalianpie.com and have some great food tonight from the original Italian Pie. No stress, no hassle, no anything. They'll bring it to you. That's the original Italian Pie of Kenner. 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. Like I said, you can dine in or call them 469-4999 or go online at orderitalianpie.com. And they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver it to your home or your office. It's that simple.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Walt Bonetti.
Welcome back. Thanks again for spending part of your day with the podcast. Well, there was another idiotic ruling from the State Ethics Board. You know, I've said it before. The Louisiana State Ethics Board is a joke. A joke. And this ruling is another joke. Republican State Representative Blake Miguez, who is a competitive shooter, will be allowed to receive free guns and ammunition as gifts, as long as the givers or company offering the gifts does not have a contractual or financial relationship with the legislature. Miguez sought the ethics opinion. Look, if you're an elected official, you shouldn't receive gifts, period. You never know when someone will ask you for something. Our campaign finance system is already like going to a brothel. When you look at campaign finance reports, they are littered with names of individuals and companies seeking access and contracts. At every Jefferson Parish Council meeting, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, in no-bid contracts are doled out by council members, and almost all have one thing in common. The recipient gave a large sum of money to the elected official's campaign account. Now the Ethics Board says, in addition to cash, individuals and businesses can now give gifts specific to a legislator's hobby. Being an elected official shouldn't be the equivalent of getting the keys to a candy store. And as I've said before, if you need to seek an opinion of the Ethics Board, that means you probably shouldn't be making the request. But since the Ethics Board is controlled by current and ex-elected officials, it's their own little club. They make the rules for themselves and their friends. And we get elected officials who push the ethics envelope instead of getting good, honest government.
Now, the Walt Bonetti Podcast Dumbass of the Day.
A shipping company was convicted of dumping 87,705 gallons of oily waste into the Gulf. The company, Interorient Marine Services Limited, and their ship, the Ridgebury Alexandra Z, tricked its pollution prevention equipment by using fresh water to flush its tanks at sea instead of cleaning them legally at a port. The company was fined $2 million and placed on 4 years probation. But that's not nearly enough. U.S. Attorney David Joseph said, quote, "This case should serve as a deterrent to other individuals and companies that ignore our laws, pollute our water, and damage the environment." $2 million is a drop in the ocean for these shipping companies. Yeah, they got caught this time. But how many other times is this going on? A fine is not a deterrent. For polluting our water, Interorient Marine Services Limited is our dumbass of the day, but also for claiming that this is a deterrent. A $2 million fine. U.S. Attorney David Joseph is also our dumbass of the day. A Monroe, Louisiana man is in jail after he attempted to rob a Dollar General store with a rock. Dwayne Wright entered the Dollar General with a baseball-sized rock, walked to the counter, and ordered the clerk to give him all the money in the register. I would have laughed. The clerk refused and told Wright to get out of the store, which is almost as good. Wright yelled at the clerk as he exited. As the clerk approached Wright with some pepper spray, Wright threw the rock at the store's door and fled. Police caught him across the street. Wright was charged with armed robbery, even though it was a rock. Armed robbery. In Zachary, police are looking for a man who used another rock to break into a market and steal crawfish, shrimp, and fish. Police have surveillance video of the man breaking into Tucker's Seafood around 2:45 a.m. Saturday. See, in other parts of Louisiana, they use rocks. They don't use guns. Learn that, New Orleans. You don't need a gun for every crime. Well, that puts a wrap on today's podcast. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, topics, story ideas, please email waltbradio@gmail.com. Don't forget, please support our sponsor, the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in or call them 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver to your home or your business. As we tell you every day, please go out and be a blessing. Change someone's life today. You can do it. Thanks for listening.
Walt Bonetti.